So for today's video, I'm going to do another Sephora haul and play. I have 3 products to show you guys, and if you want to see how I apply these products and what I think about them, then just keep on watching. So the first item I bought is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation. I've actually heard a lot of good things about this product, but I've never actually tried it, and I've always wanted to test it out, so I figured now would be a good time. Also, I've been breaking out horribly lately. Like, this is the worst breakout I've ever had, so I figured now would be a good time to test out this foundation and test out the coverage. So I read that you're supposed to shake it, so I'll shake it up first. It also comes with a nice little pump, so you don't have to like pour it out and then pour out too much. I like that. So what I'm gonna do is just give like maybe 2 pumps, and we'll see how that goes. I'm just gonna take a damp beauty blender and using the big side, just kind of splat that all over my face. So right off the bat, I can tell you it's definitely a thinner foundation. It looks a lot like my natural skin, which I like. As far as coverage goes, it covers up most of the redness kind of on my eyelid, some of my cheek, but covering up spots, I don't think it does that great of a job. We'll see what happens when I get to my forehead, where I have the most amount of spots right now, so. Okay, so I did have to go in and do a 3rd pump to cover up my forehead. I think for the most part, it did a decent job covering up my spots, but they're definitely still pretty visible. There's definitely still some redness that's poking through, but I really do like the finish of this foundation. I think if I didn't have any breakouts, I would definitely love this foundation. It looks like I don't even have foundation on for the most part. It's just such a thin formula, and the texture of my skin still looks like skin. From that aspect, I really do like this foundation, but I think I will stick to using it when I don't have as many breakouts. So the next product I purchased is the KatVonD Lock-It Concealer. I haven't actually heard much about the concealer, but I've heard a lot about the foundation, and I just figured if it's meant to cover up like tattoos and if it's meant to be a full coverage concealer, that I would kind of like it, and I thought that it would be especially good to test it out now when I need a lot of concealing. I did not know which shade to get, so I got a light neutral. Just right off the bat, it already looks way too light for me, but usually I don't really mind that with concealers because I like to go a little bit lighter and brighten up my under eye, but we'll see what this one looks like. As far as packaging goes, I really like the packaging. I think it's sleek and it's really pretty. Just by looking at this product, I can tell right off the bat that it's way too light for me. It's actually almost like a white concealer. The wand, it's kind of like a doe foot, but it's very flat. It almost kind of looks spatula shaped, like a little triangle, flat on the bottom, and it's kind of angled, which I like because you can really get into the under eye area. So we'll see how this goes. Wow, it is so thick. Like, this is probably the thickest concealer I've ever used. Like, right off the bat, this was like one little swipe and there's so much on there. Wow, it is so thick. Usually I draw like a triangle, but I don't even know if I should because there's so much product on my face already. Let's just move on to this side. All right. So definitely one swipe with this concealer, you already get like a crap ton of product. Just conceal the other parts of my face I usually do. So the tip of the nose, kind of right here, there. All right, now I'll just put a few. Honestly, I don't think this is gonna be good at all for covering up my breakouts because it is such a white, thick concealer. I already feel like it's gonna be tough to blend out, and you're definitely gonna tell where your spots are, but we'll try it anyway. So with my beauty blender, I'm gonna take the smaller side and I'm just gonna dab that in. It is so thick. Whoa, okay. Okay, so I don't know how well you can tell, but as far as brightening goes, I think it did a really great job brightening my under eye. As far as coverage goes, I don't think it's that great. It definitely kind of moved with my foundation and it looks pretty patchy even though I spent a good amount of time blending it out. But that could also just be the color I got. Not quite sure. I guess the claim is that it can cover like tattoos and that sort of a thing. It can't even cover my blemishes, so I'm not quite sure. I'm also not sure how this sits on top of the Lock-It foundation. Maybe if I tried them together, they would work well. Maybe this concealer just doesn't work with the Makeup Forever foundation. As far as the two together, I definitely don't really dig it. We'll see how I feel about it when I put the rest of my makeup on, but as for right now, kind of not so impressed. Okay, so I'm gonna finish the rest of my face up to my eyes and then I'll come right back. Hello, I'm back and I look like a crazy person. So basically all I did was just bake my face and then I put down some tape, which is my favorite trick. That's not very new, but I dig it. I actually picked up the Moondust palette by Urban Decay, and inside of it, I'm not gonna lie, I've actually used this like pretty much every day for the past month, but there's some very shimmery shades which I'll swatch for you also. There is Spectre, which is a light pink shade. Element, which is kind of a hot pink with an orange glitter in it. Really beautiful. Magnetic, which is one of my favorites. It is purple with some bluish and purple glitter in it. Light Year, which is like an aqua green shade, which is also beautiful. Granite, which I use probably the most. It's like a charcoal color with some silver glitter. Lithium, which is kind of like a brownish shade with some silver glitter in it. Vega, which is a royal blue with some lighter blue glitter in it. And Galaxy, which is my absolute favorite. It's kind of like a charcoaly green color with like an aqua turquoise kind of glitter. They're all very beautiful and very glittery, so let's get into playing with them. Okay, so for this look, I'm going to take a light taupey gray brown kind of color, and I'm just going to sweep that all up in the crease area. Doesn't really matter how messy you are as long as you blend it pretty well. Okay, so once you blend all that brown all up in both of your creases, and also make sure to take that to the inner corner of your eye. I don't know if I said that, but do it. What I'm gonna do is take this CC Beauty palette. It's kind of a knockoff flash palette. You can get it on Amazon for like 20 bucks or something like that. I'm gonna take this silvery shade, and I'm just gonna take a flat top brush and just kind of pack that on the lid area. And this is really just gonna be the base for the sparkly, glittery eyeshadow that we're gonna put on. So with this, I only want to go up to the crease and make kind of a defined crease where the brown ends and your eyelid kind of meets. Okay, so once you feel like you got that on there, I'm gonna go in with the color Galaxy, which is that really pretty, like charcoaly green glittered kind of one. And I'm just gonna pack that kind of all over where we just put that silver base. Okay, so when I'm all set with that shade, I'm going to take the shade Light Year, which is that like aqua greenish color, and I'm gonna take that and place it kind of right in the center. And what I'm trying to do with that is create kind of a halo effect where you get more of the pop right in the center of the eyelid, so. Okay, so once you got all that shimmery goodness in there, I'm just gonna take that same crease brush that we put the brown on earlier, and I'm just going to blend out the crease a little bit because there's a super harsh line where we put that glitter and where we put the brown. Okay, so that is that. I'm actually not gonna do any eyeliner because I feel like it distracts from the glitter. So what we're gonna do now is just take off these tape things. You have like a pretty good defined area, which is pretty much what winged liner does, but you didn't even have to do all the work. So now what I'm gonna do is take this pencil-y looking brush thing. It's still a little bit fluffy, so it blends pretty nicely. I'm gonna take that brown color that we used in the crease again, and I'm just going to run that underneath my waterline, and I'm also going to run that up to this harsh line over here and try and soften that a tiny bit. So like I said, I'm not going to do a winged liner like I normally do, but I am going to take my KatVonD tattoo liner. I'm just going to do a line right along my lash line, like as tight as you can possibly get, because I am going to use false lashes and I don't want that weird disconnect. I'm also going to line my waterline with some black gel liner. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is apply some mascara, some lashes, do my contour and the rest of my face, and I'll be back when all of that is done. Okay, so final reviews on the products themselves. So the foundation I actually really like. I think that if I wasn't breaking out so bad, I would like it even more. I really dig the finish. I think it is beautiful on the skin. It looks just like, skin. As far as coverage goes, but as far as finish goes, I love. As far as concealer goes, I'm like not super happy with it. It definitely does brighten up the under eye quite a bit. Maybe if I got a color that was a lot closer to my skin tone, I would like it a little bit better. With all the kind of stuff I normally put on my face, the coverage definitely does look a whole lot better. I'm actually not mad at it. I don't hate it. But as far as texture goes, still not a huge fan of the texture. Maybe I'll use a different concealer to actually conceal, and then I'll use this one to brighten. And as far as the Moondust palette, I really dig this palette. Like I said before, I've used it like every day pretty much, or every time I went out pretty much for the past like month or so. To tell you the truth, I'm not a huge fan of Urban Decay eyeshadows. I think they're a little bit chalky. I don't think they blend out very easily. But as far as this palette goes, as far as the glitteriness goes, I really dig it. And I don't have any other palettes that are like it, so I think that's also why I dig it. I did use a creamy base underneath the shadows, so I'm not quite sure how they lay without one. For glitter shadows, you probably should use a base anyway, so I don't think that's that big of a deal. There definitely is some kickback when you go to pick up the shadows, but as far as fallout, I had none. Other than that, I just think they're really beautiful, especially going out at night, going to a club or a party. I think it'll be really great for the holiday season, for New Year's. Everybody loves a good sparkly eye, and I think it's a really great gift. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I'll leave links down below to all the products I used, including those that I didn't show on camera if you're interested in that sort of a thing. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.